One night at the sheds, the engines couldn't get to sleep.
Ideally, a good story is what could help us out.
Very true, but what? Can't be one of yours. We all know those.
Screw off!
Well, surely you concede. I've heard these stories of yours 1,000,000,000,000 times before.
You know, I've never told you guys about the adventures I had with my friends before coming here.
We know what happened with your criminal schemes with Lewis and I.
No, not that. This is about who I ended up with after those events.
Well, what are you waiting for? Tell us about them.
If you insist. I hope you guys enjoy them.
And these are the stories Steve told the other engines. Before being purchased by the rail fleet of Fairway, Steve had been transferred to another Railyard on the other side of the state. The story, in particular, is about his first day at the area.
Alright, sir. I'm here with our new engine. Gotta say, though, he's an awful shy one. I haven't heard him say anything since we left Kansas City.
Bear with me, Andrew. He's made some poor choices prior to me purchasing him.
Really? What would that be?
He teamed up with an Alco FA1 at stealing valuable material goods. Why this fella thought it was a good idea beats me, but from the looks of it, he feels guilty. Whether or not he stays with us depends on his dedication. Come on, chap. If you want to redeem yourself, why not try introducing yourself to everyone else?
Well, my name is Steve. Is that good enough?
Well, it's a start. As you probably already know, this is Andrew, our Santa Fe Northern. He came from the same railroad you did. And I'm Mr. Jackson. I run this line, so you have to get used to me.
Alrighty. I can take that, I guess. Put her there. And Drew? Oh.
Quit it with all the stage fright. It's a pleasure to meet you, you thief. I'm just kidding. You haven't met our other friends yet, have you? Why don't I introduce everyone here to you? This is Martin, DP35 from the Southern Pacific Railroad.
Welcome to the club, you crook. You should be in prison, not with us.
Don't mind him. He just doesn't have his early morning coffee yet. This here is John. He's old, so don't push him too hard.
I wasn't planning to.
Unfortunately, one of our friends isn't here with us right now.
Ah, who is he?
She is our express engine, known as the Silver Bullet. However, we just call her Cora, because that's much easier to remember.
I understand.
Now then, where were we? Yes, I guess it's time to get you ready for work then.
And so, Andrew was able to introduce Steve to the roots of the yard. They couldn't help but chat with each other while they were at it.
You know, a couple weeks ago, I was out in San Bernardino. I was chatting up this old 280. He'd been in the area for a while now. And he told me that a large classification yard grows like a tree. All you do is plant a small seed. And when that seed takes roots, it starts to grow and expand. Someday, he said, it'll become something big and impressive, and something you can definitely be proud of. I think he may have been onto something. What do you think?
Well, I'll honestly say, I don't think you can always predict the future. I mean, I thought I was going to be scrapped before I came here. I almost wonder if my previous owners were too merciful on me.
Well, you gotta let it go. The past isn't the past. It may not have been that long ago, but you have a second chance now. You can prove here that you are worth something. An engine worth keeping in service. You'd be just like one of those trees, huh? Your learning experience will grow and grow. Also, with your help, you can ensure that this yard grows like a tree in the future.
Pah! Like that would ever happen. Be realistic, Andy. This fool has no one. He's nothing. Mr. Jackson made a mistake.
Why, yada. Well, he hasn't been growing like one of those trees. Yeah, I don't want to see him. He's just been rather foul and moody lately. Luckily, he is a good worker, and I sure hope he keeps it that way.
I'm sorry to say that Martin wouldn't keep it that way. He was still infuriated by what Steve had previously done, and felt that he needed to perish.
Just when this week couldn't be any worse, I'm overworked and our controller purchases a criminal. Hang on. If he's going to stay, he might as well pay for his crimes.
Martin had planned to sacrifice his previous reputation of being a hard worker. He was going to force Steve to do all his work, all well as his home. One morning, he put his plan into action while Steve was getting ready to work.
Hold on a second there, Mrs. Steve. You have to take a little more than that.
What are you talking about? I was assigned to these boxcars to the city. Foreman told me.
Well, my engine's been acting up this morning. I think it's in need of repair soon.
Why don't you check one more time?
No need. Besides, what about your resume? I'm sure this would make up for your previous issues.
Well, when you put it that way, I will.
All according to plan.
Steve returned. Martin pulled on another trick of his.
Still broken down?
Yes, I guess the repairmen are too busy this time of year. I had to take that short freight train over there at this time, but thanks to this issue, well, you know.
Indeed. Let me just take care of that.
Like taking candy from a baby.
This went on and on for a few days, but Steve thought nothing of it. One day, however, Andrew was becoming curious.
Steve, what's been going on? It seems that Martin hasn't taken a single train since you've arrived.
Well, apparently his motor's been shot. It's best to help him out with his trains because of this. That's what friends are for, right?
I guess. I didn't actually know that his prime mover was acting up. I probably should tell the controller about this. Hold on.
But when Andrew returned to the yard, he noticed Martin was moving from siding to siding under his own power.
Wait a minute. He's been lying to Steve. I better get to the bottom of this. Martin?
Present?
I need to have a word with you.
You already have.
What have you been doing to Steve? Apparently he's told me your engine is blown out, but here you are moving around our yard. What's the meaning behind this?
Okay, so maybe I lied a little to him. Who cares? Not like the thief hasn't done worse.
Stealing? Is that what this is about?
Maybe.
Well, here's the thing. The guy's pretty nice. He's been doing all of your work. Isn't that redeeming? The past is in the past. You shouldn't let his mistakes prevent him from being a good engine. Let him go already.
And what? Let him get away with all this? No! He belongs in a rail prison.
Okay, just stop right there. If you don't put this act to rest, I will tell the controller. No questions asked. Got it?
Humph. Pah! Who's he to dictate me? That's Mr. Jackson's job.
You're quite right about that, Martin, because I just heard every word of that.
Whoa! Hello, sir. Lovely day, isn't it?
You know, I believed you when I heard Steve talking about it. I almost hired a mechanic to come and inspect you. This is how it is?
Well, surprise?
Surprise indeed. When Steve gets back, we'll have a bigger talk about this. This is not over, Martin.
My life is over.
You liar! I helped you with your work, and it was all a lie. How could you?
How could you steal all that?
Enough of that, Martin. Do you even remember what I said?
Good grief. It's been a long day. I've had a lot of running to do, and this is what I come back to? You've got issues, Martin.
Listen up, everybody, and we'll sell this problem out. Martin,
Yes, sir.
you no longer have a job. You won't be working anymore, especially with this attitude of yours.
But sir, I have lots of jobs each day.
Exactly, which is why I've purchased another engine. Now this fella has not had any adventure like Steve had. Maybe that might make you happy.
No, sir.
Unless you change this attitude of yours, this guy may just be our new cattle hauler. You wouldn't want some like that, say, the scrap heap, would you?
No, not that. Anything but that.
If you want a second chance, then change your attitude. At least Steve did.
Well, Martin, now you've got to say it.
Martin didn't answer. He just stared into space.
I think we should give him time, don't you?
You're right. Let's get on with our work. You don't need to dwell on this.
What are you looking at?
And that's how I became part of that group. What do y'all think?
I must say, it was interesting. I didn't know anything about your past before I arrived.
I did.
Now, the question is, did Martin learn his lesson?
Hopefully. But I can't say the same for Charlie here.
Hey, I never went that far.
Give Charlie a break, guys. He's never been as nasty as Martin was that day. As for Anthony's question, that'll have to be saved for another time.
Martin was in hot water with Mr. Jackson, and now had to face the consequences. His punishment had been rather harsh, though, and it gave Steve something to think about. Things are not going to get any better for poor Martin. But like Steve said, that will be saved for another episode.